They're on
That's
two
for another.
sides
That's
of
for
a
another
coin.
podcast to decide.
Yeah, two
That's
sides
for-
of a coin.
That's for
We want
theology.
people who are on the same side of the coin.
I find them so enjoyable that I can go back and watch the show episode to episode and repeat viewings for their relationship, more so even than the plot or the mysteries that the show also has that are great.
I feel like you're going for a very
Niche team.
personal route. Yeah, exactly. I think they have good dynamic. I just don't think they're as well known as a dynamic duo. What makes these draft episodes is your guys' votes. Tell us who won this draft. Welcome to Backseat Directing.
Where we talk about movies, TV shows, comics, and more.
We're your hosts,
Andrew.
and Aaron.
And we put out new episodes every Monday and Thursday.
And on this episode, we're doing a dynamic duos draft.
Trio, duo, uno.
Action. That was a little clunky, but I like it. Today, Andrew, we're doing a dynamic duos draft from movies, shows, whatever kind of media you like. Now, when you're drafting a dynamic duo, you want people who like
Finish each other's sentences. You want them to be,
like two peas in a pod. They could be in a relationship,
or they could be just companions.
either way, they're like partners
partners
in
in
crime.
First try.
There's no better dynamic duo than Arron and Andrew from Backseat Directing.
They finish each other's sandwiches.
Let's go. All right, Andrew, tell me about this draft. This was, I believe you or Sierra came up with this, right?
Yeah, my fiance Sierra suggested this draft originally as like a best chemistry draft. She wanted like the people with the best on-screen chemistry, so it kind of morphed for us into duos in kind of like simplifying it, I guess.
Yeah, it's chemistry to me made it seem like they were like involved romantically.
But that's not what we were going for in the first
Right.
place. So duos is just more like who's a great pair.
Right. Like
know?
when you see one of them on screen, the other one's normally right there. You know, like when you are talking about one of those characters with your friends, normally you're bringing up the other character
Their
too.
names flow off the tongue together. It's like you say, you know, Bob and Joe. You know,
Right.
like it's
Exactly. So today we're going to do 5, right?
Yep, that's the plan. 5 each. That's so. I'll kind of explain how our drafts work. Well, I think you're checking for a coin,
I
right?
am.
So, what we normally do for our drafts is usually we'll each pick 5. When there's just 2 of us, we'll go back and forth. So, Aaron's going to flip a coin to determine the order. If Aaron wins, he'll probably want to go first since it's only 2 of us here doing the draft. And then in that case, it would go Aaron, Andrew, until we both have 5 for our team. And then we'll ask our audience to vote in the comments or in our Spotify poll or in our Instagram poll. We'll have all those options up available cumulatively. So it won't be where you have to look for just one. You'll vote for who you think has the best team of duos. Just rate it based off which team you like the most for their duos. It's not whose team of duos is going to win in a fight.
Yeah, exactly. That would be funny though, wouldn't it?
I'm gonna draft Satan and God.
See, those are like enemies.
Yeah.
You know, so like I don't think that would classify as a dynamic duo. Does that make sense? Are you kind of going off of that same logic?
Yeah, for my team too. Yeah, I'm not drafting like rivals.
Yes,
but
okay.
that's I don't not to get into religious debate with you on the pod, but they feel like they have similar goals because one's punishing evil and one's like helping the just. You know, so it's like, are they as much enemies as they seem? I don't know.
They're on
That's
two
for another.
sides
That's
of
for
a
another
coin.
podcast to decide.
Yeah, two
That's
sides
for
of a coin.
That's for
We want
theology.
people who are on the same side of the coin.
That's for a theology podcast to decide. Not us.
That's right. I'm totally down to talk about that though. So
Just on a different episode.
Yeah, so interesting. All right, Andrew, call it in the air. We got heads and tails on this $50.
Heads.
All right, Andrew always wins these coin flips, so please be tails. Tails! Hey!
I didn't want to go first on this one.
All right, so I get to go first, which is, I don't know if I'd want to, I kind of want to see what direction you're going in, but let's see. All right, first one, I have a list here of probably 10, 15 dynamic duos, and they're not like necessarily listed in order, but the one that like really pops out to me and like resonates with me like personally, and I know that's like a slippery slope for these drafts, but I got to do it for this first one. This one is an animated,
That's not what I thought it was.
an animated option, and that is going to be Woody and Buzz Lightyear.
Oh, that's a dynamic duo right there. That's one of the greats.
Yeah, I mean, this was my movie growing up. Like, this was probably my most watched series as a kid. I think my grandma has seen Toy Story 1 100 times with me. You know, like it was always on in the background. You literally don't say Woody by himself. You know, it's always Woody and Buzz Lightyear. And then same thing with Buzz Lightyear. You're always including Woody. They're always on screen together. Like it wouldn't be the same to have a Toy Story movie with only one of them. You know, like they have to be together.
Yeah, it's absolutely gut wrenching, I feel like, for them to separate them in Toy Story 4, which is like a movie I try to pretend doesn't exist.
But it was only at the end, right? Like that they went their separate paths, and they're making a Toy Story 5, and so they got to come together at some point back. So that'll heal the hole in your heart that you felt.
Insanely iconic voice performances by Tim Allen as Buzz Lightyear and Tom Hanks as Woody. Plus the whole supporting cast is like so amazing and in building up the movie as a whole. But like I find their like enemies to best friends relationship in the first movie so heartwarming, and like I laugh so many times when he's like, "You are a sad, sad little man. You have my pity. You are a toy."
Yes,
Like,
it's so good.
So many good lines. They're dynamic, like just the way that it shifts is I think what makes them so good. Like unlikely friends.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what really resonates with me is that it's like they weren't best friends from the beginning. You know, we got to see their relationship develop. So then we really got to see them become that dynamic duo. So I don't know. This is for me, this is the dynamic duo that pops into my head when you first mentioned this draft. So I had to take it for number one. So that means it is your turn, Andrew. And since it's just me and you only get one pick at a time. So who are you taking for the first pick of the draft?
My number one pick for the dynamic duo draft is going to be Sean and Gus from Psych.
Yep.
It might be kind of an unlikely pick, but this is the best duo in television history. And I have to take it. Part of the reason I have to take it first is because I know Aaron probably wanted it at some point and I don't want him to have it.
Definitely.
We both love Psych a lot, but I also want to take it because this is like Aaron said about Woody and Buzz, this is the first duo that I thought of when we talked about this concept. Even when it was a chemistry draft, just the on-screen chemistry between James Roday and Dule Hill, like they are so funny together. They seem like they've been best friends for their entire life since childhood, which is like a hard thing to sell. Like I'm so convinced in their friendship and I love them to death. Like I would jump in front of a bullet for Sean and Gus. This show really sells you on like this too, like the platonic love between them is absolutely some of the best ever displayed on the screen, movie, show, animation, live action, whatever it be. I find them so enjoyable that I can go back and watch the show episode and repeat viewings for their relationship, more so even than the plot or the mysteries that the show also has that are great.
Yeah, even towards the end of the show's run, when maybe there wasn't as much action, there wasn't as much investigating, like the chemistry between the two of them is what carried the show.
They have the best banter.
It's so
back
good.
and forth lines. It's so quick, so snappy, and you'll laugh at you'd be laughing over the next joke because it's just so quick.
And they frustrate each other at points too. And I think that's what makes a good relationship, and even though this isn't on my team, I hope it gets some love. I feel like not enough people reference Psych on a regular basis. I made a Psych reference in The Office the other day, and Justin, who's been on the podcast a few times, he picked up on it, and I was like, my man, let's go.
I hear that.
Yeah. I've heard it both ways. They're so quotable, right?
They're insanely quotable. I mean, all the nicknames, like the 100 nicknames that Sean has for Gus.
Doesn't it truly feel like Sean's just coming up with that on the fly?
It does. And I know they do multiple takes. I think it's a lot of improv with the nicknames. The quick cut of those nicknames is like a surefire laugh if you're having a bad day.
It's so funny. They're so good.
That's why I feel like it was going to be maybe an underappreciated first pick, or people would be like, why would you pick that when there's so many other more known duos? But this is real love.
Peak.
This is in my heart. I had to pick this one because I love these two on screen.
When I was making this list, they are the first ones that I wrote down. I just think Woody and Buzz Lightyear, for the purpose of a draft, have a little bit more kick.
I think I get more votes.
Yeah, but I really love Sean and Gus. But
I need my Sean and Gus. I need my Psych fans to come out of the woodwork.
yes, right. Okay. I feel like this is kind of where it gets a little
We've both picked
murky
people
already.
so far who like get on each other's nerves, kind of. Because like I feel like that dynamic adds some spice to the duo. So let's see if that trend continues.
Yeah. There's so much. Let me see. I feel like it's such a hard decision. I'm gonna go ahead and pick a classic. You know, like everyone knows these two names. There's been multiple movies, shows, comics made about these characters. I got to go with my second pick, Batman and Robin.
Legendary.
I mean, it just rolls off the tongue. You know, like everyone's heard of Batman and Robin. You know, like and you can picture them in your head. Like
if you think of the other like dynamic duos, quote unquote, or like sidekicks, like you're gonna be like Green Arrow and Red Arrow, Green Arrow and Speedy, Flash and Kid Flash, like. That does not roll off the tongue the same way Batman and Robin. Like Batman and Robin is the dynamic duo. It is the pair. And like I'm probably not going to talk down any of the picks on your list because just there's so many good duos out there.
just peak, right? Like,
but I think I have a better one than that. But
interesting, especially
one
considering how much you love Batman.
One that I like better.
The thing that I like about this pick personally is that you kind of mentioned it, that they're a team. Robin is Batman's sidekick. They're like working together to solve a mystery, to fight crime. You know, like they're not just friends. They're more than that. You know, so I think that adds a little bit of a different dynamic than what Woody and Buzz brought to the screen. You know,
yeah, they talk about in Young Justice how Robin isn't a good fit to be a leader in that show at that time when he's that young, because he's worked with Batman for such a long time and worked with him in such synchronicity that at that point in season 1 of Young Justice, he doesn't have a concept of like giving orders or giving direction to his teammates as a leader, because he's used to his partner intuiting every single thing. They are so in tune with one another that they don't like speak on a mission.
Like we were finishing each other's sentences.
Sandwiches.
They don't even have to talk.
Yeah.
You know, they just know what the other
level.
one's going to do. All right, Andrew, your second pick. You said you have a better one than Batman and Robin.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it right up against Batman and Robin, which I think is kind of the true comic fans.
Bold.
The true superhero fans are gonna back me up on this.
Okay.
My duo from DC, my duo from Down Under is Nightwing and Kid Flash.
Okay.
So Wally West and Dick Grayson is my number 2 pick, and they're specifically the iteration from Young Justice I like a lot, but also like across all comics. So across a lot of Teen Titans comics, across a lot of Justice League stories, across the modern Nightwing run, they are such an amazing pair. Like again, like I said, the way that they rib one another and give each other a hard time. They're both a similar age, you know. They're teens until they age up and they age together. So like you see them as a pair being willing to like take a bullet for each other. They joke with each other like they're like middle school buddies, you know, the way that middle school boys give each other a hard time, but they love each other to death, and their bond and relationship in Young Justice is just so enjoyable to watch on screen. It's my favorite duo in superheroes, like across the board.
I feel like you're going for a very
Niche team.
personal route. Yeah, exactly. I think they have good dynamic. I just don't think they're as well known as a dynamic duo. Not saying that they aren't a dynamic duo. They got good chemistry on screen. Like you said, they're the same age, all that stuff. But we'll see how many votes they bring in for you.
My thing too is that Batman and Robin are like
Classic.
Cadet and Corporal, you know? Whereas like Wally and Dick are equals.
Yeah.
So that's what I like about the nature of their duo.
Yeah, that's valid point for sure. I'm going to go with, I feel like this, you know, I feel like I'm kind of going like the popular route, you know, of my team. So I feel like I got to kind of keep that going. And hopefully it wins me this draft. And that's like the whole point of this, right? Is to create the best team of dynamic duos. I'm going to go with Han Solo and Chewbacca.
See, I'm not the guy to go to for that.
Yeah, you're not a big Star Wars fan, I know, but it's a dynamic duo. You know what I'm saying? Like they understand each other when literally no one else understands them, you know?
I mean, everyone understands Chewie. Leia talks to him. Luke talks to him.
The audience doesn't.
Yeah. But in that world, it seems to be common. It's like everyone understands Groot, you know?
Yeah, I feel like this is, you know, like maybe the older generation pick as well, you know, to bring a wide variety of votes.
If you want to vote for the team that didn't just call you elderly, Team Andrew's right here, accepting votes.
Who are you picking for your third?
I like that fast switch. So for my third pick, I'm going to start trying to curry favor with the audience, but it's still kind of a personal pick. I'm going to go for the third round for me, Step Brothers, John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell. That duo is absolutely unrivaled. As cringy as it might be at some points, it's the most hilarious cringe you've ever seen on screen. Did you touch my drum set? You touched my drum set, Brennan. It's that Step Brothers is hilarious, and it's hilarious because of the dynamic between these two. Like, this movie could not be made, 50% as quality with any two other actors in that role, in my opinion. And just imagining them with their curly hair and their sweater vests on, like, it's enough to make anybody laugh, just the poster for the movie. So their dynamic on screen is so funny. They're so goofy, and they improv off one another. The two of them are so hilarious, but somehow together they're more than the they're more than the individual parts, you know? Their sum is more, which I feel like is key to like a really good duo. They have to like add up to more than the sum of their parts.
I dig it. I'm going to go with, for my fourth pick of the duos draft, so when we first were bringing this up, when we were talking about like chemistry, I was thinking about friendships that I would want to have. And this was one of those friendships that I would want to have. And that is Joey and Chandler from Friends.
Dang. I really thought I could sneak that one in. I thought I could get that one low.
Yeah, see, your mistake. They're just hilarious.
I didn't think you watched Friends. We've never talked about Friends.
Yeah, I didn't know that you watched Friends either.
I've watched Friends all the way through, like at least 5 times for sure.
Yeah, I haven't necessarily watched them all in order because I would always watch the reruns that would come up like after school or something, and it seemed like they would always play those in random orders.
That's for sure the best friendship in that show.
Yeah,
which is there's a lot of good friendships, but that's like the best. Possibly the best sitcom friendship.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, they're roommates. They go through ups and downs as their relationship grows and develops. It's not always sunshine and rainbows, but at the end of the day, they're always each other's best friend. They always have each other's back, but they're freaking hilarious.
They're so funny. Chandler especially.
Yes.
But I will still go to bat saying that Sean and Gus is a better friendship, in my opinion, and especially because the show gets so much more focus on just the two of them. Whereas there's so many cross-friendship dynamics in Friends, and that's a very highlighted one. For me, and the audience is welcome to disagree, I prefer Sean and Gus. Yeah,
I love Sean and Gus. I mean, that was one of my favorite shows growing up. Every time that was on TV, that's what channel I'd be on, no matter what. I would take pictures with my lip raised and my hand to my temple, being psych. I love that show. But hopefully the popularity of Friends kind of bring me some of those votes for this draft.
So now I'm down to only having 2 picks left, and I still have 12 here on my list. I'm really debating these last couple.
I'm really going off of gut reactions for this.
Yeah, I'm going quick. You made things a lot easier on me taking the 2 of them. I thought I could sneak them in at the 5, but now I have something off the table, frees up a spot. So what I'm going to go with for my 4 spot, I'm going to take the duo of Joel and Ellie from The Last of Us. And I know that's one that both of us love. If I had to pick just one iteration, I'd pick the game, to be clear. But if I can get the show and the game, I'll take both.
I say you get both.
Yeah.
I'd argue for all of iterations of Batman and Robin, just their friendship.
I really, really love so they did motion capture. So we have Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson doing the voices respectively for Joel Miller and Ellie Williams. And you can really feel again, I'm going to compare it to Woody and Buzz. the dynamic shift in their relationship is what makes us as an audience love it so much. And we've talked about it quite a few times on the show before, covering the TV series when we covered the HBO Max series. But going from Joel being somebody who didn't think he'd ever open himself up to love again, especially not with like a young girl, to put him in that position of pain that he had of losing his daughter, to her becoming his surrogate daughter and the most important thing in the world to him. Like, I empathize with that so much. And I love them as a duo. Joel, Ellie, the sarcastic, witty, young, the talker, whereas Joel is more reserved and quiet, but
they're opposites of each other.
And she pulls that corny side out of him, the dad side, where she can get him to laugh at the puns. I think that the two of them, more so, Ellie brings out the best in Joel. Mm-hmm. Joel might bring out the worst in Ellie, which makes for a lot of good plot elements. But the side she brings out of him, the light that she brings to his life, is really what I like about this duo, because it was literally just darkness, and then there was Ellie.
Yeah, definitely more of a gritty pick, especially like considering all the other picks that we've taken. A lot more of the other picks are like lighthearted, And I thought of Joel and Ellie, because they have, it's them too, carrying that whole story. But for me personally, I couldn't think of it more. I thought of it more as like a, father, protector, and daughter, like kind of story, rather than like them like a dynamic duo.
It's the
like
same
you
point
said,
I used
like
against Batman and Robin.
Yeah. I feel like they're maybe less equal.
But I feel like that's what the story's about. Is
like you said though, like one of them brings out the worst in the other. Like for me, like dynamic duos, like they're going at this together. They always have each other's back and stuff. And you can argue the same for them.
I feel like him learning
respectable pick.
He learns to trust and respect Ellie. Like the point in the game story where he gives her the gun.
Yeah,
they start to be on definitely more equal footing.
They're a dynamic duo for sure. I was thinking
different
direction. Yeah. Love the game, love the show. We've talked about them a lot on this podcast.
If I had to pick, if it was a fight, which it's not, Joel and Ellie would murder Chandler and Joey.
Considering we didn't really get to see an on-screen like actual brawl from them at all, if not consistently, then yeah, I think you're right. But Batman and Robin would probably smash them.
We saw an arm wrestling match where Chandler lost to Ross. So take that information.
Got the weaker of the two possible best friends there. Okay, to close out my team.
Oh, also, by the way,
yeah,
you're trying to pull out Batman and Robin. That's the round where I picked Wally West or I picked Kid Flash and Nightwing. So Kid Flash and Nightwing is just a stronger, faster, better version. So they would win. They'd win in round 2.
All right, we'll see. Because
it's not fights. It's not.
If you give Batman enough preparation, he can beat anybody. Anywhere.
I'm not one of those Batman apologists. I do love Batman.
Okay, where do I want to go with this?
You're closing out the draft. This is what the taste you're going to leave in the audience's mouth.
I know. Again, just like kind of popular dynamic duos, especially right now. I think I'm gonna go with Mario and Luigi. We get to see a lot of different variations of them. We get them in the games. Now we got them in the movie. Mario, you say Luigi's name, and that's kind of where I'm going with this dynamic duo. Like you don't picture one without the other. And they together brought in over $1 billion this year in a movie. So they're running hot right now. So I looked at their draft stock, in our scouting report, and they were high.
You know what I think is missing from that pick is it's like Mario and Luigi. Like it is Mario and Luigi, but also like when you draft them, you're drafting Mario, but he's like, I'm not going without my brother Luigi. And then Luigi comes along. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but hey, name recognition's name recognition. Hopefully it brings me views in votes.
I have one last question for you on that pick.
Sure.
How'd you like the movie?
I thought it was fantastic. Yeah, it was great. The part where they brought in $1.3 billion was amazing. For your 5th pick, Andrew, wrapping up the draft.
All right, for my fifth and final pick, it's been a slugfest. I've got two in there that I think have a lot of audience appeal. I'm gonna try to take in the anime community's vote with my last pick. Ooh. So for my final round of the draft, I'm gonna go with Gon and Killua from Hunter x Hunter. That to me is the ultimate anime duo. Say what you want. Tell me it's Goku and Vegeta. Tell me it's Naruto and Sasuke. You're wrong. It's Gon and Killua. I have tattoos of both of them because that I love their relationship dynamic. It's like the push and pull. It's kind of like the light and dark, but Gon definitely has that dark side. But they balance each other so well. You've got the head first, the emotional, the rageful one, and then you've got Killua with the practicality, with the more the level head on his shoulders, the more of the knowledge, and just like the way these two look out for each other, the way they would risk their lives for each other, the way their friendship forms so intricately, but also so instantly. Just like when Gon kind of gets Killua's fascination when he's on that skateboard in like the early episodes of the first season. He hops off it and runs alongside him, and kind of they earn each other's respect. I love getting to see them go into the Chimera Ant arc together. Aaron has no idea what I'm talking about because he hasn't watched the show. But the two of them, when they... okay, I won't spoil anything for Aaron in that regard, but just...
I freaking love that part.
I love the two of them so much. They go as a pair throughout the whole show, whereas other factions might split off. Kurapika, Leorio might split off. Bisky, she's in the Greed Island arc. These two are always have each other's back until the very end, until they can't any longer, until their journeys physically force them in opposite directions. And I will die on this hill that this is one of the best duos in history. I knew I could get it at the 5 because Aaron doesn't watch anime.
All right. So I feel like for my team overall, I feel like I really put on like that CEO, general manager kind of cap. And I picked what I thought people would really like,
Yeah, I showed up with like a beret. I was like, I'm like the alternative. I'm the artist.
Yeah.
Picking my own picks.
Exactly. So we went 2 different directions with these lists, and that's going to be interesting to see how the audience is going to respond, But
you want to do our recaps of our team?
Yeah, definitely. So I have Woody and Buzz Lightyear in my first slot. For number 2, I have Batman and Robin. 3, Han Solo and Chewbacca. 4, Joey and Chandler. And 5, Mario and Luigi. Andrew?
In my number 1 spot, I have Sean and Gus from Psych. My number 2 spot, I have Wally West and Nightwing, or Kid Flash and Nightwing. My number 3 spot, I have Step Brothers. And my number 4 spot, Joel Miller and Ellie Williams from The Last of Us. And my number 5 spot, I have Gon and Killua from Hunter x Hunter.
All right. How do you feel about your team?
I feel like my team, to me, is pretty elite. I mean, I'm really happy with everybody I got. If I had to pick one that I wish you hadn't got, it would be Joey and Chandler. But this is part of what I envisioned for my team. I mean, it's personal, but it just feels good to have the people that I love. And I hope that people appreciate that when they vote.
Yeah, there's a bunch on my list that we didn't get to pick. I'm going to rattle them off real quick. I got Leo and Stitch, Doc and Marty, Tom and Jerry, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, C3PO and R2-D2, Kim Possible and Ron. And then this one was more of one that I just thought was funny, but I don't think you would allow it to have been drafted. And that was Jack Sparrow and Rum.
That's a good one. Or Jack Sparrow in a jar of dirt.
Yeah.
So for my honorable mentions, I have Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker in Rush Hour, Jonah Hill and Michael Cera in Superbad. I have Patrick and SpongeBob. Maybe I don't know if maybe I'm repeating someone's you said. Hopefully not. But I have Nick and Schmidt from New Girl, the Elric brothers from Full Metal Alchemist, Naruto and Sasuke, Goku and Vegeta, which I mentioned, and then Wreck-It Ralph and Vanellope von Schweetz from the movie Wreck-It Ralph, which I freaking love them.
All right, so that wraps up our 2 teams. What makes these draft episodes is your guys' votes. So leave a comment down below, vote on our Spotify poll, tell us who won this draft.
If you vote on more than one platform, it helps that team win.
Yes.
We'll tally all the votes.
All of the votes. Yep. You can vote on our Instagram stories as well. But yeah, we're on every platform. Again, we post the full episodes every Monday and Thursday. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Go to hit subscribe on YouTube. We're almost 500 subscribers. We're at our 1-year mark. We have merch, link in the bio, link in the description of the YouTube video, and the Spotify link. So you can check out that and support the channel. We appreciate you listening. And that's a wrap.